Okay. Welcome. Damn, I had this cool rhyme in my brain. What was it? Well, I think Robbie probably fell asleep, so I was trying to wait for him to come on because I thought he would possibly come on, but let's see here. What was I gonna do? Let's see. Let me see if I can think of a rhyme. Yo, I swear, like my language explicitly know that America be. Wait, how does that say? I lost it. Okay, I got nothing. Explicitly. Oh, I remember how to say it. Explicitly got language explicitly. America be divisibly. Smoke weed from here to infinity. uh, why are you trying to limit me? Let's see. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, I thought I had a guest come on possibly, but some douchebag. Okay. Unfollow them. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Let me think of a new world order rhyme. You've been pacified far beyond past the tides. Come back where the grass resides. Smoke weed and escape the after side. Come back to life. Walk like I got a pizza with a half a slice. Come back. New world order eats you up like a path of mice. I got nothing. The Epstein files, the sacrifice. I think we're gambling, so pass the dice. I got nothing here. I was gonna have Robbie come on, but so I didn't actually bring anything up. I mean, I do have some stuff that I was. Let me just put this over here. Poisiguier is supposedly the guy that gave the. Oh, there it's already up here. I mean, I was going over in this book, but what else was I digging into? Epstein. Okay, well, I guess I got nothing going on here. Yeah, so Time Life magazine. Yeah, I've got this Bush book. But I don't know if I want to get into that right this second. I mean, so some of the stuff I want to do, which is becoming a royal pain in the ass because fucking Twitter, they won't let me sign in on the computer. That I'm trying to simply grok certain stuff about the basically Cuddy's research. Just I mean, I also Googled stuff and yeah, I still won't let me log in, but I've Googled stuff in Cuddy's research, uh, and then it was confirmed, and then also a bunch of Cooper stuff, Googling it, and it always leads to these vast complexities. Uh, I forgot I quit smoking cigarettes. Smoking on a joint, I guess. So these vast complexities that are, it's part of every conspiracy. Vast complexities of these situations where it's uh, these characters and history that they have ties with secret societies, occult religions, uh, ties with mafia, they have ties with all sorts of weird shit. Royal families. I mean, the list goes on and on. And fucking that there's the thing about conspiracies is that people that haven't like really delved into it, see, it's like I'm really good at research, but I'm very bad at communicating words to other people. See, so I'm a great researcher, but I'm not some kind of person that's good at presenting things. And that, so, 'cause this is how the leftists always like, oh, you know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, well, you just sent me like 50 texts and fucking, I'm not gonna answer all that shit. Fucking, it's like, what the fuck? Especially fucking, you know, damn it. Okay. Yeah, especially if it's somebody that's dumb that's like on Facebook or something. It's like, what the fuck is this retarded chick fucking messaging me for? Talking about like, it's like, okay, bitch, then fucking I'll lay out part of the legal conspiracy, with one of my friends who's leftist on Facebook, and it's like, oh, how do you know this? How do you know Dennis Cody isn't lying? Blah blah. It's like, you know, it's like every time I read a name, I would Google it, look it up. Every time I seen a location, I didn't know what it was, I'd look it up. Every time I heard a law, I didn't know what it was, I'd look it up. And fucking backtracking on that is very difficult. Uh, Backtracking, it's even me not. I mean, the conspiracy is so huge where it's like even me not researching seems like it's backtracking. If I'm just sitting here talking about the research, I should be doing the research, not, you know what I mean. Like, but like the I mean, there should be like competitions of, well, maybe not. See who can research it faster. So no. I like to go to the old books because I think that, well, I mean, you can only do that for certain subjects, but the the old books, they were very well versed in the language of English or whatever the fuck language, and that you read their writings and it's like pretty soon you start talking like them, like, oh, I always knew England and its facilities of the House of Stuart. Ho ho. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like how the founding fathers are so tucked. Like, but like, well, maybe not like sound wise, but the way they write. Uh, Same with some of these that great grandpa George Bush in that book. It's like writing the book about the mesmer and what's his name. It's like I can never figure out what what's his name in the book, New England and the Bavarian Illuminati, what he meant by the Illuminati are going into fanatical trances or some shit. And it's like, what the fuck is he talking about? I've never read about that fucking, in a lot of books. I've never heard Cooper discuss that. Like, what does he mean they're going into some kind of fanatic state, which they call Illuminism? What the fuck is that? What the fuck indeed? You start reading Jacob Bohm and the demonstration of the renting of Swedenborg, and it's like, oh, I see what they mean. They're straight up Looney Tunes. They're saying that they're talking to ghosts and seeing all this shit. It's like, and then the modern masses are currently demonstrating the same type of no offense to crazy people, but the people talking that saying they're talking to ghosts and all sorts of shit. The stuff, this whole like that 32nd degree Mason dude that claimed he had an out of body experience. I could see if he was on psychedelics or something, but not sober, unless there was no experience and he was hypnotized, and that he thought that he went somewhere. He was told he went somewhere, but he couldn't procure the details from what that's what I think is fucking going on with some of these crazy people that are. I think they've been hypnotized. I think that's what the Scientologists are doing. I think that's what the Mormons are doing. I think that's what the Scottish Rite's doing. I think, or at least the some kind of outer sectors. And I think that there's an illuminist cult that is practicing hypnotism, aka animal magnetism. I think they've gone to great lengths to hide the technique. Because where is it where you can just look in a book and fucking read the page that says this is exactly how you fucking hypnotize someone? Because I've researched all sorts of shit and I've never seen the fucking like, oh, take a watch and walk it back and forth, ooh, like fucking are you getting sleepy, like that's all fucking bullshit. There's something more to it. They're not saying there's some, you don't just fucking take a watch and start like do do do, fucking somebody starts like, oh, I'm in a past life and oh, I see sails on ships and blah 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 and oh, a smidgen of tea, like fucking they're not just fucking they're not just waving a watch around and having these people all of a sudden just they're doing something else. They're doing something else to get these people hypnotized. I think the root of it, because even you look at the definition of hypnotism in the books, it doesn't necessarily say how they do it. It's like, well, how do they do it? I've seen people hypnotized, but I've never. It was that some kind of what was it? Some kind of magic show or something. It was but like the like how are they doing it? It's not just words and repeating movements. Are people that dumb, or is there something to it all? It's like it's like the whole idea of like this concept I was talking earlier. It's like you take a chicken, a chicken that's alive. We used to have chickens at the farm, and you oh, my screen froze. Half the time I'm not looking at the screen. I got glasses on, but my eyes are closed. Ray Charles, everybody. No. But so you take your finger, put it in the sand, and then you hold the chicken down gently, and then you draw a line in the sand, and then when you let go of the chicken, it'll walk and it'll follow that line because it's been hypnotized. And so the wizard takes the dagger, sticks it in the ground, and then draws a line in a circle to become in a self self hypnotic trance to induce the magical powers. Where the fuck is it? To induce the magic or the ability of the externalization of the human psyche onto the material plane. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. I'm just rolling like a second roach joint, so I have to roll another one later. The wizard. Much of what Swedenborg was talking about is very similar to voodoo dolls. Voodoo. Running for my magic. That's the song. Donut knows the song. Okay, voodoo. Southwest voodoo's in the house. It's just some silly Detroit shit. The what was I getting at? So the person who's in the animal magnetism, when they are locked into it, the hypnosis, uh, the person doing the hypnotizing can eat a piece of candy or something, and the person who is hypnotized or in the animal magnetism will taste the candy or taste the cigarette or taste whatever you're doing. The experiments with people pinching their arms and stuff while in the hypnotic trance in the Swedenborg book written by great great grandpa Bush. Not my grandpa. That's just funny to call him that. Just because he's got the same name. How many times are they gonna have that name? You know, how many times people are gonna be? How many times people? I almost started talking like that. How many times people gonna be having that name? It's this whole reincarnation shit. This whole one person living through the other. Ooh, it's kind of bizarre because technically, my family, I was the first person in the male line to not have the same name. Uh, but so the well, I'm not gonna say the name, but it's an old English name. Has to do with the king or some shit. There used to be a beer called Old English. I don't know if they still have that, but my friend would always brag about 64-ounce beers of it. Then we go to Chicago and they don't sell them anymore. I'm like, oh, what? Where's the 64-ounce beer? I want a 64-ounce beer. I need 64-ounce beers. I'm just joking. What was I gonna have with that hypnotic shit? So the people were it's just like voodoo, where the voodoo professor or whatever takes an object or something that's like a piece of hair or a piece of clothing from the person they wish to curse. They then put it into the voodoo doll, they sew it in, and then I'm not sure exactly the whole process, but they then they start poking the voodoo doll, and in the legend, the person who the voodoo doll is attached to is then injured in the same place somehow through some sort of strange coincidence. That's the concept of the voodoo doll, and that this magnetic, the animal magnetism, it had the same characteristics where the person who is the magnetizer to the magnetizee, he would be able to eat some kind of food and the person would taste it. And so, or he could pinch his arm and the person would feel their arm get pinched, even if they were in a different room. And that, so now imagine like, damn it, I drink all my pop. Like a conductor, like a person conducting an orchestra. Except he's not just conducting one person who's in the animal magnetism with him. He's connecting to all of them with this animal magnetism. This fucking this thing that was like a magic trick. It was like a parlor trick, but it's real, where the people could be hypnotized and they would do strange things. They could recall things from in your mind. Uh, the guy was interviewing the lady or something, Swedenborg or something, and he's or well, it was in that great grandpa George Bush book, the about Swedenborg and Mesmer, and it was saying that the lady was able to see his research. She could see it. And she started asking questions which were outside of the limitations of what the guy told her about what to look for or something. And like the circumstances, the same thing happened to me when my friend was reading my mind when we were tripping. I was like, this is like 15 years ago when I used to trip, and like he's like reading my mind, and it's all in a fucking linear order and shit. And I'm like, how can you recall everything that I could possibly do within this 24 hours, the next 24 hours, and continually like it's like he was saying, like you go to the store and you bought a gallon of chocolate milk and a pound of beef jerky, and it's like how did you know that I skateboarded to the fucking market and shit and fucking I mean that I thought it was all just guesses and stuff, very calculated guesses until I'm like, okay, you're saying you're reading my mind. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna say, or I'm gonna think some kind of random thought, and you're gonna say it if you're psychic, and that was the test. And that fucking I thought of something which would nobody would guess it in a million years, and that he seen it, and then he said what I seen, which I imagine my ex being pregnant and fucking because she was pretty big when she was well, not really, but doesn't matter. But the it was something that I didn't think he would think of. There's no way he would guess that. He's not gonna guess fucking that, and then he guesses it, but he wasn't guessing it. He knew he was like like what the fuck. Like, why would you imagine your ex, And it's like, well, you know, I didn't think you would, because I mean, he probably thought I was gonna like think of like a fucking, like a video game or something, or who knows what, like fucking. But well, that's what this whole Swedenborg book thing. It's interesting this animal magnetism shit because it's like I think you need to open the window. No, actually, I think it's just smoking like three roach joints in a row. I think it's my glasses are dirty, but it's not really smoky. I don't think. Let me test with a flashlight. Yeah, I better open the window. Okay, but so the it's fucking be right back. Okay. Yeah. So the animal magnetism stuff. Like that's what Bailey's talking about in that fucking dark side of Freemasonry chapter 3. She's talking about fucking she's talking about a way to induce animal magnetism onto a large crowd of people to put them under the spell of the mind control, the fucking telepathic voodoo doll, the telepathic connection with the controller and the person who's the controlee under the voodoo or the fucking uh, magnetic uh, animal magnetism. The yeah, where's my lighter? Damn, what? I got two lighters. Fuck. The, there's two lighters on the floor too. This whole animal magnetism. The I mean, this is what. Imagine you're a medieval peasant and you've seen these people, and that you're just scoping out a scene. You're just looking at people and stuff, and like, and that you notice that they are in a group, and that all of a sudden they're saying and doing the same thing over and over, and you're like, what is going on here? Like, you sit on some kind of rock or something, and you're scoping it out like fucking, you know, some kind of observer. You're seeing the repetition of the conducting of the people's minds, fragmented throughout the year, different various secret societies, religions, etc. The Because it's interesting, because like Cooper's like Cooper's like, oh, talking about Christianity. He's like, uh, Jesus broke bread every day or some shit. Talking about church every day to them, and like, it was interesting because he had some quotes to back it up, and it was like what it was like. There's all these different um, subtle dogmas. It reminds me of that Rupert Sheldrake speech. He's talking about dogmas of science. There's dogmas of religion, and there's certain dogmas when you closely analyze them, they don't seem to fit. It's like somebody was fudging the words to make it fit, and that they wanted some sort of psychological. It goes the same way with the mystery schools, Freemasonry. The same way. It's like they've altered the doctrine to suit the conditions which are necessary for the hypnosis. I think this has been a heavily guarded secret for quite some time. This whole hypnosis. I think that they've been doing it in ancient Persia with the in India for quite some time. The people hypnotizing the snakes with with the whistle, with the flute. This whole hypnosis thing. It reminds me of that X Files where the guy's in the church or something. He's like saying some phrase, and he keeps stepping on the ground, like stepping his foot in a rhythm. And then Mulder notices all the people in the church, they're all stepping their foot. It's the same way with the Masonic temple and stuff, where it's like everybody's doing this ceremony. They're doing this ceremony and walking around the room and shit. And fucking, the people are, I don't know, I was stepping and getting all, but they're doing some ceremony, and it's all in repetition to synchronize the people. Like how if you plug your phone into a computer, your phone is synchronized to the computer. You can synchronize your iTunes, for example. These people are synchronizing. They're getting synchronized. The repetition, the words, the language, the it'd be nice if my psychology professor, what's her, I forget her name. She was from Germany. She was very interesting. But it'd be nice if she was alive to hear her commentary. She was real old when I was, in school and stuff. But like the like she's probably who. I mean, you never know. Sometimes people get old. And you never know. I mean, but so psychology. I've talked to a psychologist before one time when I paid a psychologist to prove my mom and my ex wrong because they thought that I was Looney Tunes or something, and fucking just because I was talking about conspiracy. And so I went to a shrink for 4 hours, 4 different times, or no, 4 hour times, and that he afterwards I said all the crazy shit I could, and fully, talking about UFOs and ghosts and shit. And fucking, he's like, "Well, you're the sanest person I've ever met, so here you go." He gave me the papers, and he's like, and then I went and I showed my ex, and I was like, "Ha ha, you stupid bitch!" Like fucking. I mean, I didn't say that, but it would have been funny though. But and I also showed my mom the papers and like, see, I'm fucking uh sane as a whistle here, like fucking, I don't know if that's an actual phrase or not, but my point being though is that the uh the Illuminists, the people that the orchestra conductors, they're not conducting something that's it's not palpable to a sane mind, that someone who's sane is not gonna buy into, like the whole. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like imagine the logic and reason which has been taken away from people who would like get in the way of some sort of, like ICE officers or some shit. Like, and I'm not talking about like any news scenarios that happen or anything. Just like just imagine just well, I mean, I guess I could talk to about a literal one where there was just a car coming out, and this was right when it first started or something. Some lady was standing in front of the car, and she wouldn't move, and it was like, yeah, anybody that lives in the city and like you don't piss people off with authority. You know what I mean? Like my friend, he got his face beat in with a flashlight and fucking by a policeman, and fucking there's stuff that this wasn't uh this I wasn't there. He just told me the story. I don't think he was a liar. I mean, he had a scar on his face. It was like right on his eyebrow or something. Fucking big scar where you could tell it looked like he got like fucking bludgeoned by a flashlight. Plus, one time when I was a kid, I was in jail for a joint, one fucking joint of weed, and fucking it was like the only time I ever got in trouble with weed, and like fucking the which is funny because now you can buy an ounce at the store for $25. But like, when I was a kid, like, well, you'd have to go on all sorts of adventures to get an ounce of weed. It was halfway decent, but like, I was in jail in Michigan for one night. No, it wasn't even the full night. I got my friend wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and fucking I had a joint on me or something, and like I was gonna smoke it when I should have just ate it, but like he was driving. My friend was driving. He was an idiot because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. But so basically, I had to sit in jail because my friend didn't wear a seatbelt because he's an asshole. And, and he didn't bail me out either. I had to bribe someone, well, not bribe, but pay someone double just to have me get out because I didn't have the money on me and that type of thing. I mean, I don't have any money these days. But, I mean, I didn't even have money back then. It was, I think I was working the door salesman job at the time, and fucking, which is horrible. Uh, but so the what was, damn, I forgot what I was getting at. Something about something about the job or something. What the fuck was I getting at? Oh yeah, yeah. I was in the jail and fucking I seen a guard or cop or something, and that he just fucking, some guy was like near a phone or something, and I'm like looking, and then all of a sudden this guard or cop or something like he had a flashlight and he just starts, the guy like is screaming like, I just want a lawyer, and he's like, boom, right in his face like 3 times, and I was like, Jesus Christ. You know, that's when I called everybody I knew. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. I'll pay you double. I don't want to get my fucking face beat in for fucking back talking. You know what I mean? Like fucking uh not that I would back talk or anything, but it was just crazy. It's like, oh, I get in trouble for having a joint, and then I get forced into a cage where fucking some fucking officer, whether it be police or was some kind of jail guard or something, was literally beating the shit out of some dude, and it was like, what the fuck? Like that was traumatizing. And not that I haven't seen fights before, but it was like to see a person who's supposed to be the law who's beating somebody up, and you didn't see them do anything to deserve it, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like these people are fucking nuts. Uh, it reminds me of when I got pulled over once for going 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, and I was in some big city, and fucking the guy, I don't know what the guy threatened my life just for driving 10 miles over the. He pulled me over and he threatened my life straight up, no exaggeration. He fucking pointed his thing right at my face and was like, blah blah blah, fucking, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like I was driving 10 miles over the speed limit. I didn't do anything to fucking deserve to have my fucking life threatened for fucking driving 10 miles over the speed limit in a fucking ghetto ass city that fucking, there's a whole bunch of other fucking shit going on besides somebody fucking driving 10 miles over the speed limit, dipshit. You know, it was just, the dude let me go. He didn't even give me a warning or anything. He was just, he didn't say sorry, but it was ridiculous. I was like, this dude is fucking nuts. Like there's people out there that are fucking nuts, ready to beat somebody up or, you know, just pull some kind of crazy shit and fucking like those people need to go see a fucking psychiatrist or some shit, you know. 'Cause those people would not pass the same test. I mean, that's fucking that's the thing, and then the whole system, the leftists abuse the whole thing. 'Cause then they claim everything's this abuse, but then the real people who are being abused by the system aren't getting any no media attention whatsoever. Like the millions of fathers in America who don't get to see their kids, and fucking you know, it's just despicable. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's fucking if you can't you know, if people can't do something that's fucking their right to be a father, for example, then they don't have any rights, you know. And then this country was not founded on principles such as you know, the fucking new world order, commie fucking socialist government making it so you can't even fucking raise your own kid if you don't want your kid to be vaccinated, because that's what it all boils down to me. It's like all these people spewing with communism and socialism. It's like, Yeah, I've seen communism and socialism in the courts where I wasn't allowed to see my own fucking flesh and blood. I wasn't allowed to see my own fucking kid. And it was like, what the fuck? These fucking people they're fucking garbage. I mean, absolute garbage. They claim that I didn't show up for an appointment for 93 days, even though I made an appointment to see my kid and stuff, and it was like I had phone records with at least 10 to 12 phone calls that were like me 12-minute long messages begging the lady to see my kid, saying, like, I passed my house passed the inspection. Why can't I see my kid? Like fucking you know, it was just fucking totally ridiculous. That some fucking little bitch fucking lady that was like probably in her 30s or something, some bitch that never, that never didn't know shit. This lady, she had no brain cells in her head whatsoever, and fucking, she was to dictate my life and what was mine, and that's what's fucked up. People don't realize that. If I mean, I do plan to get a lawyer, so sell all my magic cards to get a lawyer. Fucking, like, collect magic cards. Because I mean, then I could get like some kind of top notch lawyer. Fucking just sue the shit out of that city. That's what, just suing them. And then after I win the law case, the suing case or whatever, fucking publish it in the newspapers. Publish, like, oh, I sued them and they're a bunch of idiots. And here's the whole story. Yeah, that'd be funny. Nah, I'm definitely jumping subjects here. Uh, so this whole damn it, drink. This whole hypnosis thing with these occultists. It's all it's all very obvious what they're doing. They're practicing hypnosis on a large scale, and that I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, that's what they're doing. I mean, and it doesn't take no technology. It doesn't take nothing. All it takes is a fucking symbolic meme, an idea, a symbolic meme, the alchemical meme, not of the traditional alchemy, but of the whole, because there's nothing in alchemy about any type of voodoo, animal magnetism bullshit. Fucking, it's all about cleansing or whatever. The same as the Illuminist bullshit. But unless you go to the precursor form of alchemy, which was symbols of how they thought reality worked. And it had nothing to do with metal. It's just they use the names of those things, such as Mercury, as a symbol of uh, some sort of pattern that they would see in nature. Uh, so like, so they talk about the sulfur, and the mercury, and I mean, one of them brought it to some weird symbolic shit about fucking the spinal cord and all the elements coming together to open up the chakra, like all this fucking bullshit. Which is, it's all bullshit. Fucking them opening their chakra, quote unquote, makes them go Looney Tune. I mean, that's basically what it seems to be all about. Like, oh, let's see who can race to Looney Tune zone as quick as who, of these cults. That's what they're doing. They're fucking like, oh, you aren't a believer, oh, leave, fucking it's like you know what are those? There's all sorts of examples of it. Like an extreme example would be like those raging lunatics that are spewing gibberish and literal gibberish, and they think it's some kind of channeling of God or some shit. And they're like saying gibberish and like wow, like acting all fucking crazy and fucking that I wouldn't necessarily call fanaticism. I would think it was. I mean, in some cases it may be, but it's not the Illuminati fanaticism. It's more along the line of people being idiots and faking it, pretending to do it because they're fucking retarded, and they think that they need some kind of physical thing to represent God or some shit to actually believe in it or some kind of bullshit. The uh, but so it's like talk about it in simple terms. This whole idea of what is nothing. Nothing was in the beginning, and then there was not nothing, which was something. I mean, that's a concept that's literally in almost all religions. Maybe not all, but there's a lot of religions that have that concept. In the beginning was the Word, and from the Word came the flesh. That's the same concept, but a little bit different. But this whole idea of, I mean, that's the first thing I learned from. I mean, I already had known of the phrase, but I apprenticed to this writer, and he's all saying it in Latin and shit. I don't remember how it goes, but the word, yeah, I don't remember how to say it, but he says it in Latin and then he says it in English. He's like, oh, think about the statement, and it's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean think about the statement? Like, what do you mean? I mean, I didn't say that. I just wrote it down, and because he's like a real writer or whatever, and I didn't want to like disrespect him or anything, but like, I don't remember how many classes I took under him, but he was an accomplished writer. I mean, like a big ass house. I mean, it needed some work and stuff, but so what was I relating that to with these religions and stuff, these occults, the complexity of understanding, and all the people like, oh, you don't get it, like, oh, it's like they don't know. Who knows that they get it? If they're not just pretending to get it, or those say some person that was in a cult, they were unbrainwashable, and so that they were still in the cult, but they didn't really know what was going on, but they just pretended like they knew what was going on. They pretended like they were doing everything everyone else does. And so the pretenders in those different cults, those are the people who are those are the people that don't know what's going on in the cult, and the people that are in the know, quote unquote, are the people who have been hypnotized. They know. What do they know? They can't explain it, but they know it. The that's what because it's like somebody was supposedly had all these magical powers and stuff, such as these Illuminists that are hypnotizing each other, then why don't they use their magic powers to dig up some buried treasure? You know what I mean? Like, uh, why indeed? But so it's like this concept that was in that book, the great great grandpa George Bush book. It was that's who wrote it. Yeah, I don't remember the great 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 grandpa of George Bush Senior, I think, or Herbert Walker Senior or Bush. That'd be his great great grandpa. But so I mean, like, not only is he analyzing the writer of, you know, there was eventually a Masonic rite named after Swedenborg. You know, Swedenborg died in 1782, but the rite was made in 1772. Swedenborg died, but the Swedenborg rite was made in 1782, I think. And so, unless he really did die later in the modern, because in the old books it was saying he was alive until past 1782. But so I'm pretty sure the I might have been confused by the rite of Freemasonry being named after Swedenborg. Uh, but it's odd they would have a rite that's all of a sudden. It's odd that he's. Uh, it's odd that he's not necessarily in the Illuminati, but he's in a precursor Illuminati, which was Jacob Boehm's Illuminati, some kind of fanaticized Christianity where they thought they were talking to angels and all this stuff. Building the God within. It's like their fucking doctrine is, I read their doctrines and it's like, it's all the same doctrine. It's all just painted a different way. It's all just in this different light, different picture, different metaphor, different symbol, a different surrealist story. Or fucking different surrealism, different story. These that's how they sweep it by everyone. They think that the sheeple are too slow. They think that we're too slow to see through the disguises of theosophy or uh, Scottish Rite or the different various secret societies, or the same with any conspiracy. The conspirators always believe that they pull the fast one upon the public, and that but so, and I'm not talking about anything specifically right now. I'm talking about generally speaking, and that so with these conspirators that, well, I mean, the question is if they were working with or against Rome. Nobody knows. Cigarette. No filter cigarette. Oh, maybe I should. I guess I am. Okay. So these illuminist conspirators that luminous conspirators that had created systems in which they were combining the mesmeric trance, the hypnotism, the old initiations of old, the pagan rites, the stuff from India, the stuff from Persia, modifications of the old widow's son story, modifications of the Hashashim lore. Reading in the book, it was very apparent what it was very apparent what the ritual of the first degree was when I read this one book, The Old Man on the Mount. I think it's called the leader of the well, it has to do with the Roshania, the man on the mount, or I think that's what it's called. I know it's called Roshinia, Roshinea, Roshinia, and the old Roshinia thing. I better roll this cigarette small. There's no way I can smoke like a fucking giant cigarette. I'm just trying to take a couple puffs off it. The Roshinia, the hair coat that was worn by the leader, was a symbol. The leader was not the leader. The leader was the new initiate. And so the translations, because remember in Freemasonry, the initiate is Ram Biff, or they say it's Ram Biff, but then it seems to get mixed up with well, that's one. Well, no, that's, I've heard different variations, but so either way, they say it's Ram Biff, quote unquote. So, what was I going with that? God damn, I smoked tobacco. Damn it, I was going somewhere with that, but I don't remember. What does anybody remember what the hell I was talking about? It was something to do with Osiris or something. It was no, it was something to do with I remember the Roshinia leader. They thought the leader was the leader in the story, but the leader wasn't the leader. The person wearing the hair coat was not the leader. That was the new initiate, and that the misunderstanding arose when in Freemasonry, for example, where the new initiate wears the symbolic clothes, which is the same symbol as the fucking Roshinia hair coat. The same symbol. And that fucking and that the initiate was Hiram Abiff, the great builder, the god, the leader. The initiate is initiated as the leader, and the not realizing it. The old initiations. And so that's why every new member of everybody gets to be the master mason of the lodge, because then they're the leader, apparently. I mean, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about. Oh, this chair sucks. But so, it's all a system. It's all a system. Machine made of words. Each position in the hierarchy, a cog in the machine. The machine moves. Where does it move? guess where it moves. Somebody want to take a guess where this machine made out of words moves? Because I'll tell you. Ooh, hitting this fucking rolled up tobacco like a joint. It's hardcore. The machine moves. Where does this machine made out of words move? Anybody got a guess? I've said it before, but it's a long time ago. You guys are gonna slap yourself once, not literally, but figuratively. Once you know the answer. Somebody want to take a guess? Where does this machine made out of words move? Take a guess. Uh, somebody want to take a guess? I know the delay is not this long, motherfuckers. You can fool me once or fool me twice. Shame on. I forget. Well, so this machine that made out of words moves through time. The initiates, who are the cogs in the machine, which repeat the doctrine. Doesn't matter if it's religion or secret society. The machine of words moves through time, where all of the initiates may fade away, but the machine keeps moving on. This machine of words. Ooh. Yeah, the natives weren't just smoking tobacco; they definitely had weed too. I've seen archaeological evidence. So the whole peace pipe thing, they were definitely packing bowls of weed. But so the machine of words, man, this tobacco is almost less harsh than those roach joints. The machine of words moving through time. This is what the Illuminati is. Adam Weishaupt lied when he said that they would be reincarnated and it would keep going. What he says? Oh, what I cannot. What does it say? Cannot get them to believe, as in they'll believe anything. Believe anything. Oh, you look like the reincarnation of blah blah blah. Here, let's be hypnotized, and we're gonna make you believe it some more. That's what these cults are doing. I mean, it's all fucking clear. Psychologically, it's all a big game. A big game of flattery, taking their beliefs and transmutating them into the belief of the one mind. See if they're in a hypnotic trance from a post-traumatic state of mind caused by an initiation, that they then remain in the post-traumatic state of mind, and they absorb what is brainwashed into them. Ooh. Oh, damn it! Why does this fucking for some reason cigarettes just hit different with the filter on? Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm putting that shit out. Post-traumatic state of mind uh, is inflicted upon the initiate in the Masonic degrees. Oh, excuse me. When they're initiated, they have to wear some weird clothes. They have to put a cable tow around their neck. They have to walk into a room with people. It varies depending on if you're in Europe or America, but in Europe, they've got swords. but in America they don't use the swords anymore. But then they take the point of a compass, and while the person is blindfolded, wearing some weird clothes, standing in front of a bunch of people, they take the compass and they point it right at your heart, right there, and they say, "Repeat after me," and then they say the oath, and then you say it, and you're blindfolded, and you were told that if you betray the word, that, how does it go? A dagger may something. It's some kind of pirate talk. Some kind of pirate stuff. It all goes back to pirates. The pirates were the Templars. Well, I mean that's arguable. I mean there's literal stonemasons versus sea masonry. I would say pirate masonry. The pirate masonry was definitely very similar. They were both kindred sciences. They were both. I mean, that's where the whole Alumbrados pirates comes into play. But so, the very first degree, uh, the initiate swears, you know, and that the I've said the degree before, but say it over and over again. But so, and then they swear. Well, no, I'm thinking of the third degree with the compass point. The compass point's the third degree. My bad. I'm pretty stoned. And so they swear. I'm pretty sure it's the third. Yeah, 'cause the second one's the you hold a book like this, and you say something about torn in twain if you betray the word, uh, and which is literally if somebody was investigating crazy Hollywood cases such as Black Dahlia, they would see that she was, you know, she was offed by some sort of Masonic murder. Uh, that's obvious. That's not people. If it was like some kind of mafia type stuff, the there's no there. Think of how many. There's not very many incidences of this type of thing occurring. I mean, look at Jack the Ripper. Literally, one of the ladies was, torn in twain, and that her intestines were thrown over her shoulder, and that's literally a Masonic oath, and that's not an exaggeration. The oaths are, uh, you know, and they claim that the prince or whatever who was involved with the Jack the Ripper thing, which I think it was multiple people, but they claim that he was crazy from syphilis and that he was making the oaths literal, but they were never literal. All the Masons go to great lengths to say the oaths are never literal. And it's like, oh, never, huh? Never. Well, then what about Roberto Calvi? Was his oath literal? You know, and then takes into the account of Rome and the Vatican because he was literally the banker of the Pope, the banker of God, they called him. Banker of God, banker of God, who just happens to perish along the lines of the Masonic oath of the ebb tide touching twice in a day, and that you could see the mark where the tide was up to his neck and that the tide was down to his ankles, and that has to do with pirates, literal pirates. Yar. I mean, that's what that's what these people that call themselves Masons don't understand. It didn't come from 1600s or 1700. They think it's some kind of early thing. It's been going on for quite some time. You can see the signs and the symbols and the old artwork. You can see the fucking. You can see it if you know what they are. But uh, if you're not, if you're not read on the subject, it's like you can't see it. And so try explaining something that is written in a symbolic language that is not words but symbols, and then try to reinterpret it to someone who has no idea what you're talking about and cannot see the symbols that have been taught through the degrees. Uh, it's impossible. I mean, I've tried it for years. I've tried to explain these symbols to people and that it's way over everybody's head. And it's like, I've talked to Masons about it. They were all well aware of everything that I was talking about. And it was like, oh, I see what's going on here. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. These, the, so the whole thing of, uh, who's who in the New World Order, which ones, all the contenders for the ball, because everybody thinks it's this or that. It's not just one thing; it's many things, and then they all hold different pieces. There's still legislature, which is for world government, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the parties that are part of the legislature, such as Russia, is actually agreeing and obeying the rules and agreements, which they aren't according to the UN. Even just the UN Charter stuff, the Open Skies Treaty stuff. It's like they get to see all of America's stuff, but America doesn't get to see Russia's stuff, or at least there's something going on in Russia. When when the Knights of Malta decides to build a giant truck factory in Russia, and that you see the amount of money in the documents that was spent on the truck factory on Kama River, Russia. And then when you see how big the factory is, it's like, well, where's the rest of the factory? Uh, and keep in mind, this truck factory never used to be on the. Never used to be able to search it so easily. Let's see here. Yeah, there's an article on it. So where's the map? Let me see. So I think there's three. Let me see. So my lips are really chapped. Uh, so there's three locations. Oh, three locations. There's the Kama River. So it's this one right here. Pretty sure. No, that's just the river. Where'd the other ones go? Oh, they're there. Okay, so then there's this facility here, I believe. Yeah, what is this? Yeah, I think this is one of them. You can see the old. Yeah, here it is. All the cars. But so, the amount of money dumped into these buildings. This is like what? Big warehouse. Big warehouse. Uh, the amount of money dumped in these buildings, especially for the time, There's no way that there's just a couple of, what is this, empty, okay, so it's just a large building, I think, or is that just a fucking parking lot or something? I can't tell if that's a building or not. I think it is. Yeah, that's a building. Okay, so there's like a decent sized warehouse, like here's some cars, or something. My point though is that they dumped a lot of money into that thing in like 1978. They dumped a lot of it. William Casey. It's like, where'd all the money go? There's just a couple buildings that look half-assed. Fucking, a couple like fucking. Where's all the stuff? What's all the money going to? You know what I mean? Like fucking. This has got to be an underground facility. There's no doubt about it. There's no way that it isn't. Because there's so much money dumped into this fucking Kama River truck factory. It's like, where's the giant yards full of steel and stuff? I mean, there's this whole area is just like, yeah, there's not a lot going on. It's like a city with uh large factory, but it's not. It's not, because they also dumped money into it in the '90s when Billary was in control, and that there's just no way that all that money was just dumped into parts and shit. Because where are all these? I mean, we see. I mean, like where did all this shit go? Where are all these Russian trucks? Because I mean, there's that many. There's no way that there's not a bunch of them in America or something. I mean, I've seen videos in the '90s where they were, but it's like all that money. There's no way they're just fucking building trucks there. They're doing something fishy there. There's and this has got to be like the fucking intelligence headquarters in Russia, I would assume. Uh, that's a truck factory. They might be making some trucks, but uh, what else is going on there? 'Cause I don't see. Are these trucks? I guess this could be trucks. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I think it's a roof. I'm just saying though, where's all what are these the trucks? Where's all the trucks? Where are they? Fucking they ain't making no trucks there. The I could have sworn last time that I seen at least like there's a parking lot. Yeah, so these might be some of the trucks. But I mean, it's not like fucking a kabillion dollars worth of fucking trucks here. You know what I mean? Like it's probably like 300 or something, and say they're exporting them, and like you know, it's just there's been so much money dumped into this factory. I mean, so much money, and it's like I definitely speculate that this is probably the Russian intelligence headquarters, if not Belarus. Uh, Belarus, Russia. Everybody's all like, "Oh, Netanyahu is so bad and Putin is so good," and it's like, well, if you think Putin is so good and you think Netanyahu is so evil, then why are they fucking making all sorts of mutual agreements about military bullshit? Which I mean, I can bring that up. Fucking It's around the subject of Russia, and then that comes into play with England and what was I going to say? Putin. Yeah, here it is. Recent diplomacy. Damn it, I think I looked it up on my phone and it was saying something. I think I left the tab open. Hold on here. Where's that? Damn it, I didn't leave it open. Ah, damn it, I just closed something. Oh well. Yeah, so the whole Russia thing, Putin is not some kind of good dude. He's dangerous. Uh, yeah, so they're, I mean, they look related to me. I mean, that's, well, I mean, maybe not related, but so I'm not sure what's going on with this. Where's Putin and is that Ariel Putin? I mean, this isn't the pictures aren't necessarily proof of anything, but what was that dinner? No, that was the dinner between Putin and Xi Jinping, where Putin and Xi Jinping are like, "Oh, we can live forever when we get all our organ transplants." Fucking Putin and Xi Jinping fucking laughing it up, going to some restaurant or something. Uh, yeah, because it's just so ironic. All these people are demonizing uh, Netanyahu, but they're not. They think Putin is some great guy and he's so good. It's like, oh, so what are you, closet Nazi ain't a closet Russian? You know what I mean? And I mean, that's the thing. There's definitely Nazis in Russia. That's nice. That's a nice roof. I used to roof roofs, and I've never roofed a roof like that. No. What is this? So yeah, where's there? Yeah, so there's a lot going on with Russia that people aren't fucking Russia. Where's Putin at? Where's his stupid name? I was gonna click on it. Putin. What kind of a name is that? And ironically, uh, Putin is I think he's from Poland. He may be St. Petersburg, but so that's interesting because the Jeffrey Epstein case, Jeffrey Epstein's passport had a fake name, Marius something or other, Pavelski or something. No, Patelvi or Pakalvi or something. And then when I looked up the name, the last name in Polish, it meant trickster in Polish, and I was like, what the fuck? Because when I was googling it, I kept finding songs like written in German or Polish. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like a song? This isn't, because I've seen the music notes and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? They got a song about this dude or something, and then I literally translate the word because the word in front of it was NASI, and I thought it perhaps related to Nazis, but the word was simply meant like and or something, and like the fucking the what was it? The word itself, the last name Pokelvi or whatever, simply meant trickster in Polish. It's like, oh well, so what is Epstein fucking some kind of Polish secret agent or something? Like, I mean, what if that's his real name? What if it's not just some kind of you know? what if it's not just a ha ha? He calls himself trickster in Polish. You know what I mean? What if it is his real name? Because there is people named that as well, and that such as the guy that was connected to him, which who had the same name as the guy in the passport, or Epstein's passport name, the same name as some guy that owns some Fort Lux uh, company or something, some kind of huge company. Uh, I mean, I forgot to look to see who his ancestors were or whatever, but like, just to see if perhaps he had changed his name at one point. But so possibly from a German name. Uh, but so the Boris Yeltsin. What was I getting at? The yeah. So I mean, it just blows my mind that like I literally the first time when Epstein died or whatever that they're wheeling his body out with the fucking ambulance and that fucking that I'm like looking at the picture, looking at it, comparing it to a living image of him, and I said it right on the fucking this show. I'm pretty sure, I don't think that's the guy. I don't think that's real. And the New York Post 3 days ago said, "Oh, we there was a fake Epstein wheeled out." It's like, it's like, well, how do we know the fucking other one wasn't fake too? Or or how do we know that Epstein didn't put like a stiff in there or some shit and fucking and then just go to fucking wherever, Belarus, Russia, perhaps, uh, perhaps Poland, perhaps who knows? Uh, there's definitely there's all these people that they're all it's like that sometimes they get into a complex paradigm and then they well, I didn't use that word extrapolate. They extrapolate what they think the paradigm is, but they don't see the paradigm for what it is. And so they're trapped in the Plato's cave, metaphorically, with these paradigms, and that and thus it's like a narrative has been so repeated over and over in people's minds that they um, they grip to things that are being repeated, and that the because it's like, oh well, these people all said it, so therefore it's true, etc. But like they fail to grasp that all these things, that most opinions on a lot of stuff in history or in real time are we don't necessarily know them to be true, etc. And that the but so well, it's not about not questioning. It's about people not thinking anything except what's already been thought. And so people are not thinking of what's new about how we could a new angle to look at these conspiracies, a new to try to figure out some sort of you know what is it called, comparative analysis of all the variables, the there's all these opposites coming together and debates and so on and so forth, but they're not coming to conclusions jointly, and that and therefore there's no, and it's always my side's right, your side's right. There's no conclusions that are fully going into. It's interesting because that one dude from Chile was saying some philosophy that was very interesting, and that this idea uh, that there's no uh, how do I? It's like he was laying down a concept, which is a very interesting philosophical concept, where say you were to write a song, the song it sucks, you just write it anyways, and then you show it to somebody, and then they tell you that it sucks, and then but then they tell you how to fix it, or you learn how to fix it because you know it already sucks, and that I mean, uh, but so the conspiracies where it's like someone's saying a conspiracy and they're not budging on what could be the possibilities when new data comes into effect or comes into realization, new data. Uh, so there's a lot of stuff to account for, and these variables of conspiracies, and that when people are trying to look at it from a new lens, and they're trying to examine it and think of what could be possibly going on that people aren't seeing, that that it's like treading new water in an ocean that's thick with seaweed, thick with lily pads, and that the person is blinded by these lily pads trying to get through, and everybody's sitting in this one spot that's all clear. There's no seaweed or lily pads metaphorically, and then the person is struggling to get through, trying to break through these lily pads and the seaweed, and then they find new ground, and that it doesn't matter if that they were struggling and throwing various concepts that weren't quite accurate. It doesn't matter if that happened. Once they got to the new ground, metaphorically, that it was all worth it to look like a fool, and that so because sometimes because it's like people see these ideas, they see new ideas, and they think that, oh, that's silly, but it's like we're trying to further the ideas to tread new ground, to think of how what people are missing, what is missing from the equation. There must be something missing because no one's solved it yet. This type of thing. That this hypnosis thing, I think, is huge. I think it's huge, and that I've been meaning to dig into this for quite some time. But like this whole animal magnetism, this whole hypnotism, this uh, huge because it's apparent that it works because so many people follow it. It doesn't matter if it's silly to me or you. It's that when people are joining these Scientologies and these type of weird cults and shit, they're true believers in their insanity, and that and that becomes a dangerous thing because it's like those people are if somebody's off their fucking rocker and they're fucking whacked out of their mind crazy, and that they think that like Swedenborg or something, that God's talking to them or something, and if they think it's the real God and that it's talking to them, anything that the God does or says, they're gonna take it completely serious. And so this is where if some crazy person thinks God's talking to them in their head or some shit, and that they're fucking whacked out of their mind crazy, they think it's real, and then they act upon those those supposed thoughts from God that they had, then fucking they are out of their fucking minds. They are fucking retarded. And like that the idea that a hypnotist or some kind of occult leader could induce a hypnotic state in which he could program the person with words, uh, that this is a real thing, that there are hypnotists on record saying that they hypnotized some lady. I think it was the sub project Navy experiments, and that the lady was she was programmed verbally to be. The hypnotist told her. He said a week from now. I think the hypnotist visited her every month or something, or the hypnotist once a month the lady would see the hypnotist, and so the hypnotist is like, a week from late now you will be in your kitchen, and that you will see me appear in your kitchen and snap my finger, which and so and so the hypnotist programmed that into the lady, and that she uh then a week later she's in her kitchen, and then she sees the hypnotist, and I don't know if it was snap his finger, but he might have said something, one of the two. But so she sees the hypnotist, and he appears, and he says something or snaps his fingers, and then he disappears, and my camera froze, and and then she reports back to the doctor, tells him what she's seen, which was she's seen him, and so this concept of someone being hypnotized, and then the hypnosis doesn't take effect until a literal time and space where the hypnosis doctor, could say anything, and that, like, go buy a gallon of ice cream and eat it 10 years from now on this exact date, and you're just like sitting there, and you're like, I gotta go get a gallon of ice cream and eat it, and you don't know why, and you're just like, uh, this is an example of how someone can be hypnotized. Uh, but so it's fucked up because she still got like a cold or something. So uh, it's fucked up, this hypnosis thing, because it's like uh, these people in these cults, these satanic cults and shit that practice hypnosis, and they hide it from their initiates and all this stuff. They I'm not saying all of them do, but I would definitely say that they are out there. I would say, and that they should be investigated. All these fucking cults and shit, fucking But so and like, because I mean, think about how like the Scientology, for example, Scientology is so tight, so compartmentalized. Nobody knows anything about it hardly. What has been leaked is chump change compared to, I mean, their dogma has been leaked, but the way these occultists work, uh, sometimes when dogma leaks from secret societies, and that if you weren't a member and you hear what is leaked about the secret society, it's different than and I think it's all a ruse. I think they want people to think they're worshiping the devil, but they're not actually worshiping anything. They're just it's all some kind of psychological manipulation, which they may believe that their God is talking to them, or that his hand is coming through the curtain, shaking their hand, or whatever the fuck. And the Mormons, for example, but like and that the person who's doing it may believe they're God or something, but like it doesn't mean that they are or anything, and that doesn't necessarily mean that anything supernatural is happening. It could all just be pure psychology, pure hypnosis, pure manipulation, pure. I would say pure. No, when I say pure, it sounds like PEER, but PE. But I mean to say PURE, pure, pure. But so the what was I getting at? Well, I think my voice is pretty toasted in the podcast. Yeah, someone just be discussing this more. What day is it? Tuesday. Probably tomorrow. All right. Well, take it easy. Good night, and read Mesmer. Read Swedenborg. Read that book by great great grandpa George Bush. Not my great grandpa. It's just funny to call him that. 'Cause all right. Good night.